everybody, welcome back to another edition of 30 Teams in 30 Days here on Inside the Zone with Mateo. So glad you choose to click on this video, and of course, as always, I hope you are entertained. For those who do not know, my name is Mateo, and I host all the podcasts here on the channel, and we normally cover Minnesota sports every Tuesday and every Thursday, but starting in June, I said, 30 teams in the NBA, 30 days in the month of June. Let's do one episode every single day, and that's what we've been doing, and we are officially 50% of the way through as we are here on day 16 for Team 16, the Orlando Magic. Yes, we got the Orlando Magic today, and it's going to be a wonderful NBA offseason preview where, yes, 30 teams in 30 days, we take a deep dive into each NBA team through the month of June. So without further ado, here's a quick look at the schedule. And yes, we have a big X. Yes, it's a little messy X because I just had to do it actually during that intro because I forgot to do it beforehand. But yeah, we've gone through the first 15 teams. We go in order from worst record to best record from the regular season. And we have now moved over. We have moved over to all the playoff teams. Basically, I'm pretty sure every single team here on the right made the playoffs. So we got some special teams to talk about. We're doing the Magic today. We got the 76ers tomorrow, and we got the Phoenix Suns in a couple of days. It's June 16th, 2026. Got the World Cup still going on. I'm hyped. Bro. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's get into it. Mateo's Show batting order is just kind of a roadmap that I use across all the podcasts here on the channel. It just always starts every episode just so you have a kind of idea of a roadmap of where this car is rolling down the road, right? To see, are we taking a right turn here? Are we taking a left turn there? Well, there's 5 things always on this batting order for 30 teams in 30 days. The length of the roadmap, of the batting order varies depending on the episode, but for 30 teams in 30 days, there's always 5 things. The same 5 things. How well did they do last season? Who they should draft? Who they should keep? Who they should trade? Or who should they target? And then what is their early ceiling and floor? So without further ado, it's time for the Orlando Magic. Yes, boys, we're going to sing that jingle because it's a fun jingle. The Orlando Magic. Yeah, we're fired. Dude, I'm pumped up. It's June 16th. We're over halfway through the month of June. We're not going to, think about that. We're maybe almost a third of the way done. We're a third of the way done with summer. We're going to forget about that, but we're enjoying it. It's a great day. So now let's get on to the 2025-2026 season where we're going to recap this last previous season, whatever you want to say, for the Orlando Magic. We're going to take a look at some player stats, and I'll just give some quick thoughts about the Orlando Magic. We're just going to chill out today. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe button on a road to 500 subscribers. So without further ado, bam, here we go. They were 45 and 37. They were at the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. Their top scorer was Paolo Banchero. Their top assister was Jalen Suggs. And their top rebounder was, of course, Paolo Banchero as well. They don't actually have a draft pick, so we're going to skip the draft section. But before we do, as always, for the recap, we're going to take a look at some stats from the Orlando Magic's players. You got Paolo Banchero leading the way, as already mentioned, with 22.2 points per game in 72 games played. He started all 72 of those games, so it was really good to see him have a healthy season. He also averaged 8.4 rebounds a game and 5.2 assists per game, so a really solid season for Paolo Banchero, who we're all trying to figure out if he is a superstar or a star in this league. I think he's a star, maybe not a superstar, but again, that's another discussion for another time. Franz Wagner, bro, he struggled to stay healthy. He had the opposite season of Banchero, despite putting up 20.6 points per game, 5.2 rebounds a game, and 3.3 assists. He only played 34 games, started 32 of them, dealt with a lot of injuries, and it definitely cost the Orlando Magic a couple games. So you think about if he was fully healthy, they already won 45 games. Maybe they would have won 50 if Franz Wagner would have been fully healthy. But you know who was fully healthy? Desmond Bane played all 82 games. He averaged 20.1 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 4.1 assists in all 82 games. He was very solid for them. Obviously, they made that blockbuster deal for him a couple years ago, basically giving up 5 first-round picks. Absolutely insane. But, he's kind of providing some good scoring and consistent basketball for the Orlando Magic in return. We also got Anthony Black, he played 64 games. He started 40 of those. He averaged 15 points on the dot, 3.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. Jalen Suggs, again, kind of struggled to stay healthy. Really, the Magic couldn't really stay healthy, or at least some of their top guys couldn't stay healthy. But when healthy, in 57 games, 56 of them starting, 13.8 points for Jalen Suggs, a little bit low for him, but that's all right. 3.9 rebounds and 5.5 assists. You got Wendell Carter, played 78 games. Really, that starting center for the Orlando Magic, 11.6 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. Again, you have some other players that play pretty good. You can pause the video if you want to take a look at some of their stats, or you can just look it up on your own ESPN.com/NBA/team stats/Orlando Magic. Perfect. All right, so that's kind of the stats here. If I'm talking about the Magic, addressing their season, my key thoughts on this team, me personally, I would say it was a very, very, very good season. It was a rewarding season. It could have been better, but it could have been way, 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 way worse. Okay, they won 45 games. Paolo Banchero, I thought he was probably having one of his best seasons of his career. Sure, Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs couldn't stay healthy. Really, Anthony Black couldn't stay healthy either. But you still won a lot of games. You still were able to play decent in the postseason. And again, similar to the Hornets, who we did yesterday, I don't think this team is too far away, especially in a less competitive of an Eastern Conference. So a very solid year for you guys. Obviously, there are some moves that I will suggest in the coming minutes. But yeah, let's move over to the next section. Let's keep this bus rolling here. Trying to get some quicker episodes for you because we've been spending like 50 minutes on episodes. So I'm trying to get a little quicker episodes rolling out for you guys so that you guys stay intact and watch the full videos, of course. But yeah, that's the recap. We could skip the draft because I don't think they're going to trade into the draft. I just don't think that fits their timeline. So we can go to the first half of free agency because we divide it into two separate sections. Where the first part, where we're talking about right now, is we take a look at the team's own free agents and who I think they should let walk or who I think they should consider re-signing. So here's a list of their 7 free agents: Marquise Wagner, Jett Howard, Jace Richardson, Jamal Cain, Javon Carter, Alex Morales, and Colin Castleton. So actually, this is actually a very easy list. I'll turn the pen on here. I think if you see a two-way player, they're most likely going to re-sign him, or if anything, they're just going to be replaceable. Javon Carter is an unrestricted free agent, but you can't go over the salary cap to re-sign him, which I thought was interesting. He's almost 31 years old. I think he's definitely replaceable, so I think you let him walk. You take the $2.6 million club option on Jamal Cain, 27 years old. Jace Richardson, he's a restricted free agent. You can go over the salary cap to re-sign him if needed. And I think for the most part, you probably re-sign him if it's for something like, between $4 to $5 million, maybe a little bit more. You do have some salary. But Jett Howard, same kind of thing. He's an unrestricted free agent, but again, you can go over the cap if needed to sign him. I think you re-sign him. And then Marquise Wagner, I think, why not? Keep the Wagners together. You take him back and, maybe use him as a trade piece at the deadline if needed. But again, it's a very easy free agent, group. Just the one thing here, the 31-year-old Javon Carter, just let him walk. See, maybe you bring him back on a league minimum if needed. But yeah, it's actually really simple thing. I don't have to talk much about. Of course, let me know in the comments down below who you think they should resign, who you think they should let walk, who they should also target via the open market or by a trade, because that's going to be the real final major section we're going to talk about here. I guess we're just really moving through the Orlando Magic, and here in the second half of free agency, I will predict who the teams will pursue, who this team, the Orlando Magic, will pursue, and who they will sign either by the open market or by a trade. So I got a list of some targets. Mitchell Robinson's always on this list, bro. Literally, if you need a chance for either a starting center or just an upgrade at center, because I like Wendell Carter, but I think you could always find a better center. Mitchell Robinson is always here. He's a free agent. I don't think the Knicks are going to re-sign him. If they do, congratulations to the Knicks for keeping him around. And I think you can definitely upgrade your center spot fairly cheap for Mitchell Robinson. But also, if you want to spend a little bit more money to upgrade your center spot, Domantas Sabonis probably wants out of the Sacramento Kings. So we'll go through a trade option there. because he's not a free agent. This is a free. I'll put a check here. Should I do a check mark or here? I'll just do like a red dot next to the guys who are actually a free agent. Yeah, Anthony Simons and Luke Kennard can definitely provide bench scoring, which is definitely something the Orlando Magic need. And then Kyrie Irving. I really like the idea of Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving, there's been some rumors that he might get moved, right? And he might get moved by the time this video comes out. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. But the Jalen Suggs experiment hasn't necessarily gone according to plan. And I think a upgrade at point guard, there's also been rumors with John Morant. So we'll go through the trade machine here. We'll spend some time with the trade machine, talking a little bit up here. Bam, here in Fanspo, fanspo.com/NBA/. Trade machine if you want to find this. I think maybe upgrading the point guard position besides the center. We'll go center first. We'll do Domantas Sabonis to see if this is possible. It is possible, but again, I think you'd have to get rid of Wendell Carter. So give the Kings a younger center to build around. Then probably Jonathan Isaac as well. And then I need to see how much money needs to go. Yeah, you got to get rid of 12 more million for this to work. So maybe an expiring deal of Anthony Black could work potentially. Again, there's a lot of big salaries. So at the end of the day here, maybe what you might have to do is you add that third team. You add, let's say, the Dallas Mavericks. If you want Kyrie Irving, Kyrie goes to the Magic. Like, you could do this. I could see them getting both. It could work. Jalen Suggs would end up going to the Mavericks. They get a younger point guard to build around Cooper Flag. I think this is a really good trade for the Mavericks as well, by the way. Even you could even do it potentially 1-for-1. You are taking in some more salary, so maybe a guy like Tristan Da Silva or Anthony Black could go over to the Mavericks as well. Something like this. I just want to see what's going on with the trades. Magic need to get rid of $9 million. Like, see, Sabonis' salary is so big, and if you might have to get rid of like a Franz Wagner if that's the case, or a Desmond Bane, because there's just so many big salaries. And I do think that could be a potential change. Like Franz, do they really want to get rid of Franz though for Domantas Sabonis? So at the end of the day here, what I'm thinking, I don't know if they would actually do this Sabonis trade. People have been saying, "Oh, they're hitting." I actually don't think that might be the case. I think literally a straight up Suggs for Kyrie. Maybe you add another player like a Tristan Da Silva or a Goga here. Maybe a Goga, an expiring deal here just to make that salary work. Is that all you need? Like the Mavericks, I think the Mavericks win that trade even. But then the Magic also, the Magic need a playoff closer, and Kyrie can be that. Maybe you throw in a pick. I don't know. Maybe the Mavs throw a pick. Would it be crazy to add in a pick for this? Not their pick this year. Maybe like a pick for this Lakers 2029 pick. Go to the Mavs. Oh, sorry, to the Magic. Yeah, and it would work. Again, I don't know. I mean, it's 4 years of team control for Jalen Suggs. He is pretty young as well. He's pretty young. So I kind of like this for both teams. It's very rare that I find a team of this kind of trade. And by the way, just here's a quick note. None of these trades are meant to be exactly realistic. They're just supposed to kind of give us an idea of what could happen. But Suggs is 25 years old. You're turning the clock back almost a decade from Kyrie Irving, and that just helps Cooper Flag a lot. And I like this. Yeah, that's potential. So there's definitely potential there here. And I think the Mavs could consider even throwing a first-round pick in just for that reason, because you do get younger. There's also been rumors that they're wanting to move Klay Thompson. So if you have to trade Klay Thompson looks like he wants to go back to the Warriors. So we could add the Warriors here into a 3-team trade just to clear some salary, just to make this work a little bit easier. He's an expiring deal, so he shouldn't cost too much. Maybe like a Guy Santos or something like that. Maybe you would need or even a Brandon Pajemski 1-year deal. Will Richard, maybe Will Richard could be He could be interesting. What's the salary cap? Yeah, the salary room is not looking good. Maybe Moses Moody. Moody going to the Mavs for this could be interesting. Would this work financially? Yeah, it would. So something like that could work potentially. I did just see those Clay Thompson reports just today when I'm recording this, so I thought I'd just say something about that. But yeah, I think a Kyrie would definitely help the Mavs, but and it would help them without giving up too much. You just give up Jalen Suggs and this Goga dude, Goga Bits. I just don't want to try to pronounce his name. You do Kyrie, Desmond Bain, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and then Wendell Carter or Mitchell Robinson, because I wonder if you could still sign Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson. I wonder if you could sign him. Oh, that's it. What? Whoa, what did I just do? I don't know, bro. Could you sign Mitchell Robinson? Why can't you, bro? Whatever. Okay, because he's not probably included. That's why. Fanspo, it's weird. Sometimes you have to include the Knicks in order to. It's weird, guys. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. Mitchell, yeah, you can't do that. That's weird. Okay, I don't know, Fanspo. I don't know, but yeah, I do think that could be a realistic trade. There's also been reports of Ja. Like, do they do this trade again where they trade maybe not this time Desmond Bain? Now, Bain, I don't think goes back to Memphis. I think it would be it would be really a straight up this. It'd be a 1-for-1 deal. I think you could potentially just do this, give both of those guys a change of scenery. This would fail because the Magic would be taking in $6 million or so too much. So you maybe give. Oh wait, now I can resign. Now I can sign Mitchell Robinson. My gosh. Oh my gosh, bro. I don't know what's going on. But maybe you give it's like 6 million, so it could be Gaga again. I don't think that works. I think maybe it would have to just for the salary or an expiring Anthony Black. But no, not 2 point guards. Maybe yeah, just grab him another center, try trade, and this would fail by 2 million. So maybe Tristan De Silva now. Just I want to make sure. I think they like De Silva. I think De Silva will probably stay with the Magic for a little bit here. This would go through. So you could do Suggs, Goga, and Tristan for Ja Morant. Just give both of those point guards a new place to play a little bit, but also my Minnesota Timberwolves have shockingly just been in the news that they might want their own Jalen Suggs. I believe he played in Minnesota. He's born in Minnesota. He's Minnesota born. We need a point guard. It could make sense. Could give them Rudy Gobert, but I think more realistically, we'd give them Julius Randle. But give them another big that maybe they could reroute somewhere else. Maybe they reroute somewhere else. I don't know. You know what? You know what? There's been all these rumors here, Minnesota wants Kyrie, and it would be like Julius for Kyrie. What if we get Jalen Suggs instead, and the Magic actually get Kyrie Irving? Then Randall ends up going to the Mavericks, but the Mavericks would probably need something else in return. Mavericks, you guys can get our first round pick of this year. It's like pick 29 for Kyrie. And then for Jalen Suggs, they get basically it's the 1-for-1 deal. And then this would just work financially. What's going on now? Magic requires $7 million too much. So then they have to give. Okay, they can give something else about $7 million. That's expiring deal. Yeah, I mean that's just the expiring deal. Mavericks get that. That would work. That would work. Okay, that's another deal. That's another hypothetical scenario. Like I would take a Jalen Suggs, me personally, younger ball handler, primary ball handler, to pair up with Anthony Edwards. A pretty cheap deal for the most part. $32 million is pretty chill. We get rid of Julius Randle, and it's not a Timberwolves episode, but I consider that. And then for the Magic, they get Kyrie. They get that playoff closer, shot creator, and they really just give up Jalen Suggs. They don't even give up a pick. We give up the pick in this scenario. So, hey, that could work too. Let me know what your favorite trade is. And before we go, I'm going to go to trade proposals, and we're going to see what people on Fanspo sportspodcast.com are saying what's a potential trade for the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic. You know, we chilling with the Orlando Magic. We're gonna do newest trades just because you could do trending, but it could be from a couple months ago, and then maybe trade deadlines pass, and those rumors are false. So we're gonna just do the newest, sort by new, and the first one that pops up related to the Orlando Magic 26 minutes ago. Like to see this? They would have them getting Kyrie here in a 4-team trade. Daniel Gafford would end up playing with the Lakers. I actually like that for the Lakers. Who are the Lakers giving up? Ayton goes to the Mavericks. Mavericks also get De'Aaron Fox. I actually don't hate that as well. And then connect. Okay. Actually, bro, this is actually kind of interesting. Magic get Irving. And then the Spurs. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think the Spurs want another guard. Okay, I don't think they want another guard. Replace the Spurs with Minnesota. Minnesota getting Jalen Suggs. And then the Spurs maybe get Julius Randle? Maybe they get Julius Randle. Would this work here? Let me pull up another Fanspo window. Let's see if we can replace. Wait, is there a button where there's no comments? I was wanting to see if there was any comments. Can we try this trade? No, we can't. I was like, is there one where we can just edit this trade? We can't because it's all right. We can work around with this. This is chill. I think this is actually a fascinating idea. It's a fascinating idea. I don't think Jalen Suggs fits with the Spurs because I think they have enough guards. I don't think they want another guard. They just have too many. So this would include the Magic. This would include the Lakers. This would include Minnesota now as well. It would include Dallas and San Antonio. And Dallas. Sorry, I'm just trying to get all these teams. 5-team trade. This would be chaos. It would be complete chaos. Let's do it. Jalen Suggs would end up in Minnesota. Julius Randle would end up in San Antonio. De'Aaron Fox. Where are we going to have Fox end up? Fox ending up in Dallas. I don't hate that. Kyrie ending up in Orlando. Ayton ending up in Dallas. Connect ending up in Dallas. They get the Lakers get Daniel Gafford. Sorry, I'm just kind of doing this all behind the scenes because I'm trying to make sure this is all good. And then everyone's in the green. Is everyone solid? I think the Magic are the only one failing this, right? Yep, it's because of that $7 million. Perfect. So then who gets Boga? I mean, go whatever. Maybe the Spurs get him. Spurs have the money. Yeah. Okay. Wow. It would work. It would work, you guys. So in this scenario, taking this trade and flipping it a little bit around, Kyrie still goes to the Magic. The Lakers still get Daniel Gafford. Timberwolves get Jalen Suggs. The Spurs now, instead of getting Jalen Suggs, because I think they want more forwards. Imagine Randle next to Wemby. That'd be kind of sick. I'm a kind of Julius Randle hater, but it would be kind of sick. Randle goes to the Spurs. They also get our wonderful friend Goga. And then the 5th team involved would be the Mavericks getting the same package they got in that other trade, Fox, Ayton, and Connect, retooling around Cooper Flag. Yeah, this is interesting. This one is really interesting. I'm really glad I found that trade. I think adding with Minnesota, just because Jalen Suggs, I don't think fits with the Spurs. I think he fits better with the Timberwolves. So I like that. Let me know what you guys think. But we're going to go back over here. One more. Let's go one more. Let's find one more trade. Let's find one more solid trade here. Bam. So that was that one we just looked at. Let's see. Toronto. I bet they're going to get Wendell Carter, right? Yeah. Wendell Carter, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter, Jonathan Isaac go to the Raptors for quickly Jakob Poeltl. So you flip Poeltl and Wendell Carter, which actually, okay. Quickly, then you swap point. So you here's what you're doing. You're switching point guards, which I don't hate. You're switching centers. I don't hate. Really, guys, these are like the same players and same contract. You're just giving them a new scenery. And then Jonathan Isaac goes to the Raptors, but you get Trace Jackson Davis, who I like a lot, and Jonathan Mogabo. Okay, like, see, there's a bunch of options. So, Orlando Magic fans, let me know which one's your favorite. If you think any of these targets are realistic targets for your favorite team. But finally, before we wrap things up here on the show, on the episode, ceiling and floor, for those who aren't as familiar with this, there's going to be 2 bullet points. There's going to be without the moves I suggested, and it's going to be then after it's going to be a ceiling, and then with the moves I suggested, another ceiling. And here he goes, boom. Without the moves I suggested, I think this team can make the first round, maybe win a first round series, but that's about it. That's their ceiling. But with some of the moves I make, maybe getting Kyrie, maybe getting another point guard instead of Jalen Suggs, maybe doing that 5-team crazy trade that we just talked about. I think this team has the potential to get into the second round or more, but I do think they need to upgrade their center probably a little bit and just make some tiny adjustments. Not huge deals, but just maybe flipping the point guard a little bit or just, doing those little things. And maybe if you want trade into the draft. It's a very solid draft, especially for guards. You have the assets. There's one more person I didn't mention, but trading Franz Wagner, he has drawn a lot of interest from guys like the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. So maybe trying to get a pick or multiple picks for Franz Wagner, you could do that, and then you could just try to retool a little bit. But I think this is a very solid team. They have a bright future ahead of them. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think their ceiling and floor is. Obviously, their floor, every team's floor is being the worst team in the league then. So that's why I don't state the floor. I just always state their ceiling. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. A first round, second round team, maybe playing. We'll see what happens though. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below are going to happen to the Orlando Magic. Who do you think they're going to sign? Who do you think they're going to let walk? Who do you think they're going to trade for? Do you think they're going to make a trade? Let me know all of those answers. If you have any thoughts, if you have any pushback, let me know in the comments down below. I love it when you guys comment. Hit that like button, hype the video, and all that stuff. But coming up, new team coming up tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. We got June 17th, day 17. Dude, this series is going to be over in less than 2 weeks. It's going to be absolutely insane. June's going to be done in 2 weeks. Absolutely insane. But after June, starting back in July, every episode, every Tuesday, every Thursday, we'll have an episode of talking about Minnesota sports or just sports stories in general. We'll go back to the live streams. We'll go back to the shorts and all that stuff. King of Competitors still drops every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. World Cup content as well coming up in July. Enjoy the group stage while we are at it right now as well. Appreciate you guys for watching the new team. It's going to be the 76ers tomorrow. They're a fascinating team as well. They upset the Celtics. A lot to talk about there. What happens with Joel Embiid and Paul George? Do they focus now more towards VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey? My thoughts on the 76ers and so much more related to them coming up tomorrow. But in the meantime, hit that like button and subscribe button. Turn the notification bell button on so you never miss any episodes. And most importantly, don't forget to keep God first because he's the most important thing in your lives. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.